As a photographer, I am involved with a number of projects, most of which you will never see here since this is primarily a travel channel, though I do stray into other subjects. However, I run into things here and there, and in this case, I came into possession a set of photographs taken by a young soldier who was deployed to Vietnam. The photographs themselves are not very good. They are full of dust and scratches and are mostly blurry. I color corrected them as they were in bad shape, but that's about all I did. Regardless of the quality, the images are what this person saw and did, and even though many of the images are mundane, they were something this person felt was worthy of photographing. Some of the photographs had dates from 1967, so I'm going to assume that this is the period when the pictures were taken. I never met this soldier, so I am unable to provide any insight into what the photographs are about. I do have the impression this soldier was somewhat in country, but in a support position and not a front-line grunt. Since there are people who follow military history, I submit these photographs for your examination, and I hope they provide an insight into what one particular young soldier experienced during his tour of duty in Vietnam. In Section 1, there are only 3 photographs: a young man boarding a flight and apparently going off to war. The third picture is from the Fisherman's Wharf in San Francisco, presumably part of his journey to Vietnam. Section 2 contains scenes from everyday life in camp. War is not just one long battle, but many hours of boredom, doing your assigned tasks, and living and working with your fellow soldiers. This section will be of the Vietnam landscape and the people. The quality of the images is not very good, but you will still see what our soldier saw and experienced during his time in the Vietnam War. In this section, you will see scenes of the camp where the soldier was stationed. Some are just plain generic views, and others will show men working and equipment being used for construction. Any comments will be welcome that would provide more detail and context for what we see here regarding this aspect of the war. And here we have a handful of photographs with scenes of the war itself, but from a distance. If you're looking for images of blood and guts, you won't find it here. but you will see the reality of the war from the perspective of someone in a supporting role. The consequence of war comes from those who have fallen. The final set of pictures here is from a military funeral. Even though I was not able to meet with the soldier who took these pictures, I do know he came home and became a farmer, living south of Green Bay, Wisconsin, so it's not surprising to see snow in these images. Therefore, I don't know who is being buried here and how he died, but if you look closely, you can see what appears to be a mother and father in their 40s receiving the American flag. I would venture to guess, then, that the soldier being buried is a young man, though I can't say he was a casualty of the war or the victim of another tragedy. As I get older, I can't help but look at these young men and see them as children because they are so young. War seems to be a constant throughout human history, and we lose so much for engaging as such. I don't have the answer, but the pictures in this presentation tell the story and the end result.